This is a Swift Archway Twywell. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker, you've got your 2 gas bottle tie downs. You can carry a maximum of 2 6kg propane bottles at any point on board the caravan. In the front locker, you'll also find your leg winder and the jack for the caravan. We do have the gas pipe work available here on site should you need to buy it. On this particular van, it's actually a gas changeover valve, so if you had 2 gas bottles mounted in the front, you could actually have 2 bits of pipe connected on one pipe on either side, and the valve here in the centre does actually turn, as you can see, and it's got a green section here pointing towards the next gas bottle you want to use. So like I said, arrow pointing towards this side, it'd run off the gas bottle this side, and if the arrow was pointing to this side and you had 2 bottles connected, it'd run off the second gas bottle. Coming down the side of the van, you've got your battery box with your mains power lead coming to the van, but it's got a battery connected now for now, so we can demonstrate everything working, and also then we can demonstrate the motor mover. Behind this locker door, you can actually see just about down the side, hopefully just see down the side there, there's actually your first of the leg winders. I'll show you where the rest are on the van as well. You then got your 2 fridge vents on the side of the caravan. They are there simply to allow the fridge system to allow heat out and take some cool air in. Behind one of those is also a gas flue for when you're in the fridge on gas. Motor mover and the wheel nuts. We will torque the wheel nuts before the caravan leaves site, and we'll demonstrate the motor mover to you also. Coming down the side of the van, you've got your water pump connection, which is very simple to use. Blue trigger on top, push down and pull it out the side of the caravan to release it, and the same to push it in, and you'll release the blue fitment on top here to connect it to the side of the caravan. You've then got your pickup pipe that drops down inside the acro roll, and you need to make sure that white filter on the end there is completely submersed in water while it is running. If not, you've got the chance of drawing air up into the water system. Next to that, you've got your heating and hot water flue. You need to remove this prior to using the heating systems on board the caravan. So this is actually a gas flue, however you'd remove it at all times, just so if you ever need to ignite it, it isn't on there and you know you're ready to ignite. Below that, you have your 2 grey waste flaps. You have 2 large two pipes that go into these grey fittings here, and they'll drop down inside the waste master that sits below it. At the back of the van, you've got a storage locker for accessing the storage underneath the bed at the rear. On the rear of the caravan, again, you've got your 2 wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. Back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank, so you'll open this up and you'll need to put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use, and that will allow you to flush the toilet, but like I said, you have to fill that each time you use it, or before each use of the caravan. At the bottom here, you have your toilet waste cassette, which you pull up the orange handle and pull the cassette towards you. The orange neck here turns out 90 degrees so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. On the back of the cassette, you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Up the top here, in the cassette itself, or in the cassette locker itself, you'll find this black pipe that drops down. Now, as I said, you need to fill this each time you use the van. So when you finish on your holiday, you pull this little bung out on the end and drain out the fluid from the flush tank. And you can drain it into the cassette if you hold it up, and then tip it away on the waste disposal sites on site. You've then got your motor mover and wheels again, which like I said, will torque and demonstrate the motor mover. The last wind down leg and the other one on the other side sticks out in roughly the same place. Storage locker for on this side of the caravan, and your barbecue gas point. Going on to the inside of the caravan now. First thing I'm going to show you is the 240 trip switches in the front locker down here. So underneath the front seating area, you will see you have your 240 trip switches. So when you connect to power for the first time on site, you're going to need to make sure this black switch here is up and all your trip switches are up. If you want to make sure you have got power coming to the caravan from the caravan site you're on, you can hit the test switch here and the power switch will drop down. So that's your main breaker, power breaker, or mains isolator. If that switch doesn't drop down, then it means there is no power coming from the caravan site you are on. Each of these fuses, fuse box, will be numbered 1, 2 and 3, as you can see across the bottom here, and in the manual that comes with the caravan it will explain what each of those are for. Below that you have 3 other switches. you have your main power switch for the electric heating on board the caravan, and you'll need to have that down for the heating to work. The central switch is actually your electric water heating, so you'd need to have that on if you want the water to warm up on mains power. And on the end here, you have your battery charger, which again, we do advise you have on at all times, so the power on board the caravan, 12 volt wise, works and charges if you're connected to mains. So that is the first major part of the caravan. The next thing we go to is how to operate the control panel for the van itself, and then I'll show you how to fill the water system after that. So when you first get into the caravan, depending on if you're running mains power or not, you'll need to select first of all, well, if you're running mains power or not running mains power, you'll need to press the tick button here, which will turn the control panel on, and then you'll select your either your 12 volt battery for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan. As you can see, when I turn it off, it will turn off here completely. Turn the 12 volt power back on, and you get a red light to indicate the 12 volt and 240 mains is working. Top left hand corner again will indicate that you've got mains power coming into the caravan. Then you've got your battery voltage here for the 12 volt battery on board the caravan. If you're towing down the road, you're going to need to have it on car mode, which at the moment it's not going to do because we're not connected to a car. It will illuminate the red light because there's a 12 volt battery on board the van. But when you are towing, you'll need to select the battery mode, so it runs from the 12 volt battery or the 12 volt supply from the car to the caravan. That will also allow you to charge the battery on board the caravan whilst you are travelling. On the right hand side here, you've got your water pump switch. You'll need to have this on when you're filling the water system, or once you've got the water system prepared for filling, and I'll come back to this switch in a moment. So to fill the water system up on board the caravan, you're going to need to open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system, as you can see here. So that's your hot water turned on. I'm just going to turn that back off for a minute. Sorry, leave it on for a minute. As you'll notice, because the pump's turned off, it's not going to flow any more water. Once you've got all of the taps open on the hot side, you can come underneath the bed at the rear of the caravan, and just behind that bar there, you'll see a yellow valve. So just to the right of that red pipework. That yellow valve is going to need to be parallel with the floor while you're filling the system up, so as it is now. And if you want to drain the water system down when you're done with your holiday, it needs to be upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat. So that is how you fill the water system up, as in the valves in the position you need to have the valve to fill the water system up. Once you've got them valves in the right position and you've got your aqua roll connected on the outside via the water pump connection, you will need to come over to the water pump switch, turn the water pump on, and you'll notice you start to get water flowing out of the taps on board the caravan. It will take 2 or 3 minutes just to get the pressure up to enough to allow the water to run continuously. But hopefully you can also see in that video some steam coming up from that taps, or from that tap, to show the hot water system is working as it should. So once you've got water running out of every tap, you're going to shut all of the taps back off, and that is your heating system filled, your water system filled and ready to use. To warm that water up, as I've already shown you in the cupboard down here, you have your 240 water heat switch that needs to be on for it to warm up on water on the mains power, which we're already operating at the moment. And then on the control panel, as you come in the door on the right hand side, you have the option to run your gas water heating. Now you can just about see a little black mark here on the side of this switch, or next to this switch. That is your gas water heating. To operate it on gas, you'll spin the dial round to the flame symbol. A green light will appear in the back of here. If in a moment it will actually fail to ignite because there's no gas on board at the moment. And if it fails to ignite, you'll get a red light appear which indicates a fail to ignite. If the green light is on its own, you can spin this dial between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature, and whichever number is above the green light is what the water temperature will warm up to on gas. We do advise, if you're on a mains powered site, that you use the gas to boost the water heating while you're showering on board the caravan. At the bottom here, I'm just going to open the door up so you can see the switch a little bit better actually, hopefully. Down the side of this switch here, which is for your room heating, you'll notice you've got a 500, 1000 or 2000 watts. This is the amount of power that is coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. So you can select either 500, 1000 or 2000, but like I said, that will depend on what site you're on, and the best way of finding this out is by asking the site's office when you arrive on your holiday. To control the temperature of the heater, you'll need to spin this dial between 1 and 9. Obviously the higher you go with the number, the hotter the heating will be. To turn the heating off, you spin it back to the central position here, and that will turn the heating supply back off. That's the electric heating. For the gas heating, on top of the heater, you'll find this dial just here. It's actually a self-igniting system. So you spin the dial around between 10 and 9. You hold down the gas valve. Then in this pilot window, pilot light window down the front, you'll eventually see a blue pilot light. And sometimes if you hold this in the right position, you can actually see the igniter flicking. Can't quite get it in this video, but you'll actually see when it's ignited, like I said, a blue flame in there. And once it has ignited, you'll hold down the gas valve for a further 5-10 seconds, then slowly release the valve, and the igniter will stop. Once you've got it on, you can control the temperature of the heater on gas on the dial on top. Now on this caravan, you've got blown air heating. So you'll see around the caravan these little white vents like you can see down the front here. And this will allow you to run the heating on either blown air or if you want the heat coming out the front of the heater, you can also do that. So the dot here indicates heat is going to come out the front of the heater. The wave symbol on the left hand side is continuous blown air, which allows the fans to kick in. Then you control the fan speed on top, and then the heat will come out the vents around the caravan. That's continuous blown air. On the right hand side, you have what I call automatic blown air, and essentially it allows the thermostat to control the blown air heating on board the caravan. So essentially if the caravan hits heat, it will turn off the blown air, and as it cools down, it will turn the blown air back on. Like I said, you can control your fan speed on top a bit like you can do in your car, between 1 and 5 on that speed. Next thing we go to is the fridge. Now the fridge is very, very simple to use. You've got power on and off on this control button just here. I'm going to turn the fridge off, turn the power on with the power button at the bottom, and the screen will come on. Now at the moment you can see we're on mains power, which you're going to use most of the time if you're on a mains powered site. And you can control the temperature of the fridge on gas or mains on this button on the right hand side. And as I press that, you'll notice these bars come up. And obviously the higher these bars are, the colder the fridge will be. Press the button on the left hand side and it will change the power source we want to use. So if you've got a car connected at the front of the caravan, you'll select the 12 volt mode just inside the doorway. And then you can go back to your 12 volt battery, or you can come onto your 12 volt battery on the fridge. You do not need to have the switches turned on down in here. So just work off the 12 volt supply, so you turn it on. And then when you connect it to the car, and if it's cool in the fridge, it will have this light solid blue. At the moment it's just coming up with this code here to let you know it has failed to start working on 12 volt. But like I said, that is just because there is no car connected to the caravan. Gas mode, so if you're off grid, you can use the fridge as a gas operated fridge. If it fails to ignite, the blue light here at the bottom will flash at you, and it'll also come up with a 9 and a spanner symbol in here to indicate it's failed to ignite. But if it's ignited, the blue light here will be solid. Do advise you check back to this after a couple of minutes of it being on, just to make sure it hasn't failed to ignite. Again, control the temperature on the button on the right hand side. Microwave, hob, grill and oven, all very much like your household appliances. If you haven't got 240 mains coming into the caravan, the microwave will not work. The same as the electric ring on the back of the hob. That is 240 mains only. Gas hob on top, as you'd expect to see. Same as the gas grill and the same as the oven. Now the last thing we'll go through in this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. The toilet system in the bathroom has an electric flush on top, which allows you to flush the toilet. You just press toilet, flush the toilet. Red light here illuminates when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns for your convenience, as you can see here. However, below the toilet, I'm just going to turn the seat so you can see it a little bit better. You've got a grey waste handle. When you pull this across, it will allow the waste into the toilet cassette underneath the van. However, when you're not using the loo, we do advise you shut it back off. And also you need to have it in that central position when you're trying to remove the toilet waste cassette, as it could potentially damage the toilet waste cassette itself if not. So this is the Swift Archway. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thank you for now. Bye bye.